Dissatisfaction recovery and de-escalation. Dissatisfaction recovery is a prepared and thoughtful method for helping aggravated customers return to a satisfied state of mind. As healthcare professionals, the very nature of our business is dealing with patients and visitors who can be stressed out and often in pain. As a service industry, it's important for us to recognize this common situation and effectively act to resolve the upset person's concerns. In order to maintain a high level of customer satisfaction, it is important to quickly recognize dissatisfaction and act accordingly. For that reason, dissatisfaction recovery begins the moment it is observed, instead of waiting for a formal complaint. A handy acronym developed by the Disney Institute in dealing with dissatisfaction recovery is CARS. C. Connect. When faced with an upset person, if you haven't already done so, formally introduce yourself and your role at the hospital so they know who they are speaking with. A. Apologize. Acknowledge the impact that the dissatisfaction is having on the upset person. Whether the incident was avoidable or not, the purpose of our service is not to create dissatisfaction. Acknowledging the upset person's point of view goes a long way to resolving frustration. R. Repair. Take care of the problem to the best of your ability. If the situation is beyond your ability to rectify, personally guide the upset person to your supervisor or to someone who can help them. S. Supervisor. If the upset person is involved in a major issue, such as a problem greatly altering their planned day or a severe issue, such as an injury, make sure to contact your supervisor so that they can be prepared when the formal complaint is made. CARS is an easy acronym to remember, as anyone who drives in rush hour has experienced dissatisfaction. Just remember, connect, apologize, repair, and contact your supervisor for major and severe issues. Some people are indeed more difficult than others. Sometimes the person is just too upset to be receptive to dissatisfaction recovery. This could be due to their physical condition, such as their illness or state of mind. They could be in a large amount of pain, or they could just not be a very nice person. We must keep in mind that no person chooses to become a patient, but we did choose to work with patients. So we must be prepared to de-escalate the upset person who is too frustrated to listen to normal dissatisfaction recovery. De-escalation is the methodical attempt to reduce an upset person's growing frustration. This is important because an enraged person cannot be reasoned with. Training is important because everyone's natural tendency when faced with an angry person is to become defensive and equally angry. Appearing calm and collected when faced with aggression takes training and practice. A busy healthcare professional will sometimes feel that a de-escalation conversation takes too much time, especially when multiple other duties are pressing. However, it actually consumes far less time than an angry customer spinning out of control. Studies do show that de-escalation training does improve confidence and knowledge in dealing with these difficult people. Safety first. When dealing with an angry person, don't turn your back to them and keep a healthy distance from their personal space. Body language is responsible for over half of your communication. Remember to appear calm and speak in a polite, positive manner. Try not to be defensive. Most importantly, do not smile. This may sound strange at first, but smiling in an attempt to appear friendly during a conflict often insults the upset person. It gives a patronizing impression that you don't take their complaint seriously. This is a confrontation and should be treated in a professional and mature manner. Always remember, you are a representative of this institution. Be professional, polite, and concise in your statements. An easy acronym to remember with de-escalation is LANE. This goes well with cars. When you are stuck on a road in the slow lane while everyone else flies by in the fast lane, your frustration can escalate quickly. LANE stands for listen, agree, next, and explain. The cycle of de-escalation is that you listen to the upset person, agree and validate their position, plan the next step in dealing with their situation, and explain it to them. This cycle may have to be repeated several times before the upset person can be rationally dealt with. L stands for listen. You must use active listening to uncover the real intent of the upset person's message. For example, during a very busy day, a frustrated person in a waiting room may approach a nurse and say, in a belligerent manner, "How long do I have to watch you people laugh and ignore all of us?" Using active listening, the nurse will understand that the person is really stating the weight they experience is grating on their nerves. A stands for agree. This is the most important part of de-escalation. The upset person is expecting an argument. A conflict requires two people who disagree. We are not going to participate in a conflict. We are not going to disagree with the upset person. We will use one of the three stages of agreement. Stage 1, agree with the truth. If the upset person is right and we are wrong, we are going to agree with them. In our example, if we did indeed forget the waiting person and cause an undue delay in their stay, we should own up to the mistake. Our response should be, "We did miss you. I'm sorry for this mistake. We'll get you taken care of immediately." Stage 2, agree with them in principle. If the upset person is wrong, we're not going to spend time arguing with them in attempts to convince them of their incorrect mindset. In our waiting room example, we would agree and validate the upset person's feelings that waiting for what seems like an unusually long amount of time can be extremely irritating. Our response could be, "I agree with you. Waiting can be so frustrating." Keep in mind we are not admitting wrongdoing here. In all likelihood, the upset person has probably not waited any longer than anyone else, and indeed may not have even waited all that long. But we are here to take care of their needs, not win a fight with them, so we are not going to participate in an argument. Stage 3, agree to disagree. In the instance where the patient continues to argue their point and attempts to create a conflict, the only recourse for the healthcare professional is to simply agree to disagree and bypass the conversation altogether. In our waiting room scenario, our response should be, "I understand how you feel." We are not going to change their mind. Any further conversation on this point will only escalate frustration, so it's best to bypass the entire issue. Remember the three stages of agreement. Agree with the truth, agree in principle, and when all else fails, agree to disagree. N in lane stands for next. Decide the immediate next step that must occur to deal with the upset person's problem. E stands for explain. Make sure to quickly and concisely explain to the person the next step that must occur so that they can be helped. In our waiting room situation, the nurse must check the department's situation to gauge how much longer the upset person must wait and look into any possibility of expediting their service. A good response would be, "I need to find out when we can get you taken care of. Let me run and find out, and I'll get back with you right away." Refraining from arguing with an upset person does not mean we are expected to be a verbal punching bag. If the upset person crosses the line and begins to use personal, derogatory remarks, they must be told that those comments are unacceptable and will not be tolerated. This should be communicated in a non-aggressive but matter-of-fact manner. A good response would be, "I understand you are frustrated and I'm here to help you, but those comments are unacceptable and must stop now." When dealing with dissatisfied or angry people, please keep in mind these key points. You are not here to argue, insult, ignore, make sarcastic comments, or attempt to win arguments with dissatisfied people. Also, you must not ignore your personal safety, and you should not accept badgering and abusive language. Dissatisfaction recovery and de-escalation are important parts of customer service. Use the acronyms CARS and LANE to remember their key points.